Hey y'all, it's Callie and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my March wrap-up. I did this a little bit late because when it switched from March to April, I was out of town for about a week and this was the next available time I had. So I am super pumped. I read a whole lot of books. I read a total of 34 books this month. I have a few stats. 12 and a half of them were physical books. I read one half physical, half ebook. So I read 16.5 ebooks and 5 audiobooks, which is really crazy. The star breakdown was 12 5 stars, 4 4.5 stars, 4 4 stars, 5 3.5 stars, 5 3 stars, 2 2.5 stars, and 2 2-star reads. So overall, it was a really great reading month. I read a lot of really good books, or books that I thought were really good, and it was overall just a great month of reading. The first book I finished was Three Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. This is the one I read half on ebook, half physical book. I absolutely loved this story. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. I loved the characters and the storyline was just so dramatic and crazy that it was just so compelling, and it's a really quick, easy read, or at least it was for me. Next, I finished Heartless by Marissa Meyer and I gave this 2.5 out of 5 stars. I was very disappointed by the end. I did not enjoy it. The one aspect I really enjoyed was the love story, and then all of a sudden, about 3/4 of the way through the book, it disappears. And I did not enjoy it, and I didn't like it. Then I finished a quick little romance ebook that I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next, I finished the audiobook for A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it overall. I loved the characters and the storyline was really interesting, but there were just some times that I seemed to disengage myself from the audiobook, so I couldn't give it the full 5 stars because I wasn't always sucked into the story. After that, I read the E-Arc for Again But Better by Christine Riccio and gave that one 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, but the whole aspect that changes in the middle of the book I didn't absolutely love. It was a little weird. I thought it was just straight up contemporary, but it's got some magical realism in it, and I didn't really realize that. But overall, the story was really relatable and just so much fun. I absolutely adored it, and I can't wait to get my hands on a paper copy when it comes out in about a month. After that, I read another short little romance book that I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And next, I read Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Robin Wasserman, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. I loved this. Each story was just amazing. I loved seeing the snippets of other characters as well as seeing Simon's development. It was all really great. I didn't love the ending of the last story, but all in all, I absolutely loved all of the stories, and it was the first book that I attempted to tab. I went a little overboard on this one, but it was still a lot of fun. After that, I finished Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. I give this one 5 out of 5 stars. I loved this. This was so adorable. It was just such a cute love story, and I am a sucker for that. It sucks me into the story, and I just can't stop reading, and that definitely happened with this book. I get the hype. It was so touching and heart-wrenching at moments and just fantastic. Then I read a portion of an ebook series. It was a little romance series that was broken up into 8 week-long segments, and I finished segments 2 through 8 this month throughout the month, so I'll just put those all together. I think I gave them all around 3.5 stars. After that, I read Matilda by Roald Dahl. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. I really didn't like it. It has lots of trigger warnings and it's just not that good. I couldn't get into this story as a child, and I tried to read it and couldn't. I did read it, but I didn't enjoy myself, so I gave this 2 out of 5 stars, didn't love it. After that, I finished the audiobook for They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I loved the characters, loved the story, I just loved everything about it, and it made me cry. It was the first audiobook that made me cry. It was just so emotional and intense and just so touching. I absolutely loved it. It was so good. After that, I finished Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. Of course, I am making my way through the series. I listened to the audiobooks, or my mom read them to us when we were young, and so this is technically my first time physically reading Harry Potter, and I really enjoyed it. There were a lot of aspects that you don't see in the movies, which is mostly what I know them by, and it was really fun just revisiting the world. In March, I also managed to read a whole 7-book romance series in less than a week. I absolutely loved each and every one of them, 4.5 or 5 out of 5 stars for every single one of them. I absolutely loved them. They were all by Kelly Elliott, and it was the Cowboys and Angels series. It was just so good. I absolutely loved them. You should definitely check them out if you love a good cowboy romance. Next, I finished The Anatomical Shape of a Heart, which was a reread for me. This one was so good. I loved the story. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars this time around. This time I found a few more issues with it because it's a little cliche at times and a little eye roll because it's so basic and things like that. But overall, I love the story. It's a very different story, I guess you could say. You don't really see this. A lot of the YA romances are pretty much the same thing, copied and pasted with different character names, and it can feel that way sometimes, but this is definitely very unique. After that, I reread A Court of Mist and Fury, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. This is my favorite book in the ACOTAR series. I love Feyre and Rhysand, and it just makes my heart really happy to read this book. I wish I could skip over the sad parts and the beginning because I just love Feyre and Rhysand and their smut. Really, that's what it amounts to. It's so good. I absolutely loved it. I annotated this one as well, which was a lot of fun. I had a great time rereading this one. After that, I read Night of Cake and Puppets by Laini Taylor, and I gave this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was so adorable. There wasn't really much that went on, and I kind of liked that about this. It was just a really cute little story that I got through in less than a day, and it was just so cute. I loved seeing the side characters that I enjoyed in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. After that, I finished the audiobook for One Dark Throne by Kendar Blake, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Again, I loved the 3 Dark Crowns series so far, and it was so good. I just love all of the drama, and I can't wait to find out what happens in Two Dark Reigns because I haven't read it yet and my library doesn't have it on their audiobook ebook app, so I'm just kind of twiddling my thumbs until I can get my hands on a copy, hopefully soon. After that, I finished The A-List by Zoe Dean, and I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't like this. It's drama and more drama and drama, and I felt like I had read it already because the second book in the series pretty much throughout the book somehow manages to summarize everything that happened in here. So I felt like it was all redundant because I had heard all of it before. I am actually technically trying to read book 5. Yes, I went 1, 2, 5, or 2, 1, 5. But I decided I'm gonna DNF that one and give all of them away, unhaul them because they're really bad. So bad. So I'm gonna say goodbye to this one. Then I finished another romance ebook, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't love this one. It had no real plot line or character development. It was just them getting to know each other. And even then, not really. Like, it was very bad. And it was kind of short, but at the same time, kind of really long. And everything just came together in like 2 days, and I just overall did not enjoy my time reading it. Then I finished the audiobook for Once and For All by Sarah Dessen, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. It was a really hard-hitting story, and it was so interesting to hear about. I absolutely enjoyed myself. It's a cheesy romance, so I didn't give it 5 out of 5 stars because it's not like my favorite book of all time, but I still thoroughly enjoyed my time reading it. It was so much fun, and it was super quick too. Then I finished Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I liked Cinder and Kai's storylines, but I didn't really care for Scarlet or Wolf till the end of the story, so I couldn't really care enough for Scarlet, even though most of the book is about her, so I had to dock off a few stars because the name of the book is Scarlet and I didn't like Scarlet. Then I finished the audiobook for The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I gave that one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I, once again, didn't love it, didn't hate it. I thought it was an interesting new take on vampires, but there's no real plotline, so I got kind of really bored with it. The ending was very anticlimactic because it was just like, and they're done. This is the end of the book. They live happily ever after. And it was like, oh, okay, not much happened, but okay. Then I read The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. This is the short story novellas of Selena Sardothian before she went to Endovier, and I gave this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. One or two of the stories I didn't absolutely love, but some of the stories were the best ever, so I couldn't give it the full 5 stars because of the stories that I didn't love. And lastly, I finished Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. So good! I read this in like 3 days, and it's a chunk of a book. It's like 600 and something pages. It's 546 pages, and I finished it in like 3 days because I zoomed through it. I loved the story, loved the characters. The storyline in this one is very much more connected than the other ones because the other ones it's small groups of the group doing things, and in this one they all come together and they realize that they can have more power together, and it's just really cute and amazing, and it addresses the fact that the diversity and the time period don't match, and it was just so cool to see, and I absolutely loved it. I really want Diviners 4. Now I get why everyone is so pumped for it. So that is it for all of the books I read in March. It was a lot. I spent so much time reading, but I absolutely loved all of the time I spent reading, and I can't wait to see what happens in April. It's already off to a pretty good start, not gonna lie. I know I didn't give any sort of descriptions as to what most of these books were, but I figured with 34 books, it would take way too long to do all of that. So I will see you guys in my next video. Comment down below if you've read one of these books, which books you love, which ones you don't like, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!